From a sun-drenched Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington, it's USL Championship action for you here on ESPN+. Tonight, Tacoma Defiance playing host to El Paso Locomotive FC. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew Harvey, alongside Dave Clark. Dave, this El Paso team comes in with excellent road form.
Yes, they have 1 win and 3 draws, no losses yet on the season, so they're looking to continue that here at Cheney Stadium tonight. Tacoma Defiance, though, have their own little streak going.
Absolutely. Right. It's been a little while since they've had their last win, but they are unbeaten in their last 3.
Yeah, 3 straight draws. They've been doing it behind an offense that really seems to be clicking right now, particularly with Justin Dillon.
Well, from an El Paso perspective, as you take a look at Jerome Kiesewetter, what really stands out about the forward to you?
He's collected goals in just 3 games, but he has 6 goals. That's pretty potent. When he hits the net, look for him to score 2.
Absolutely. And on the other side of things, Tacoma Defiance, another player who's been consistently finding the back of the net.
Justin Dillon, for the past 4 games, has a goal in each of those games. When you start a goal-a-game streak, your team is going to feed you the ball.
And of course, one final streak. Tacoma Defiance has won the last 2 goals of the week in a row. Will there be a third tonight? We'll find out. Tacoma Defiance and El Paso Locomotive FC coming up after this.
Go, boys.
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here on ESPN+. Moments away from kickoff between Tacoma Defiance and El Paso Locomotive FC. I'm Andrew Harvey, alongside Dave Clark. And Dave, before we get into the lineups, first, the Multi-Care Pre-Match Health Report contains good news for Defiance fans. Everyone is fully fit and available for selection. This has been your Multi-Care Pre-Match Health Report. Well, let's take a look at the starting 11. First, for the visiting El Paso Locomotive FC, as named by head coach Mark Lowry.
And the focus there, we talked about Jerome Kiesewetter in the pre-match, but also Omar Salgado. U.S. national team fans might remember him from back in 2011, where he made some youth national team appearances. He was El Paso's first signing, and he just got his first goal. He's looking to round into form now that he's with El Paso.
Taking a look at things for Tacoma Defiance, obviously Justin Dillon very much the man in form, but there's some other contributors there as well.
I mean, Shannon Hopiow had the goal of the week last week. Nice little banger from him. And you'll see Henry Wingo on the right side. He and Hopiow seem to be developing a little bit of a rapport there, so it might be neat to see what they can do along the right.
Your referee is Joseph Salinas. Assistant referees Babacar Jallo and Cameron Seiler. The fourth official is Hanif Zarabi Kashani.
Away, coach.
And there is Mark Lowry, concealed a little bit by the dugout, but he's definitely a player who has a history of coaching here in the United States. Spent some time with Jacksonville. At the time was an interim head coach and then wound up earning the full-time position as well.
Home coach.
Chris Little back at the helm tonight for Tacoma Defiance. And certainly Wade Weber did an admirable job in his time in charge, but I think Chris will be happy to be back holding the clipboard.
Yeah, but we miss Wade with the suit, which is something that I tend to enjoy.
Yeah, well, I respect Wade for it. He can't afford to be showing up, head coach Chris Little. Now, there are Defiance. They'll be playing in the white tops this evening with black lettering. And we'll move from left to right on your screen here in the first half. And at this point, as we're just about set to kick things off, we welcome in James Riley to the broadcast booth. James, thanks for joining us.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Turn James up, please.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. I've missed you guys. What a beautiful night for this game. Fantastic.
Well, certainly Seattle Sounders FC may be dealing with extreme weather over in Frisco, Texas, but if you've come out to Cheney Stadium tonight, you are in for a treat.
Oh, stunning.
We got the mountain out on the horizon, perfect blue skies, and the grass is in great condition.
Really is. Pitch looks amazing. Looks fantastic for two franchises to be on it. So we look for a bright game tonight.
Nick Hines, the early giveaway there. Works his way back to Logan Ketterer. Ketterer spent the last couple years with Columbus Crew. Eventually felt he wasn't going to win out of the starting job there, and so found his way to El Paso Locomotive FC. One of our new expansion franchises here in 2019. This the first ever meeting between these two sides.
Locomotive like to keep the ball in motion, in possession. It's a strength of theirs. They use it to control the tempo. They're not necessarily going towards goal with possession like Defiance are. They just want to hold it in this back kind of 40% or so.
Right.
Works his way up to Sebastian Contreras. Contreras, an interesting midfielder for El Paso Locomotive. Argentinian by birth, but spent most of his pro time so far in Venezuela. Now here in the United States, and is current assist leader for the team. He's got 4 of them. Well, Salgado doing what he does best, bullying his way past defenders, lays a ball off to the far side there. A cutback cross, and that one headed wide of the post. Coming off of Nick Ross.
Very good play by Salgado to ride off the challenge, play the simple ball out wide, first time service. Very good chance there by El Paso.
Well, Defiance usually like to try to take their goal kicks out of the back. Looks like tonight El Paso's not going to let them. What does that mean for the importance of winning balls in the air at midfield, James?
No, I think it's good. I mean, it's a smart play. You know, Locomotive is a team that can press and cause turnovers in the defensive third. And so, especially early on, you need to battle for the right to play. So go direct early, especially off goal kicks, and then look to settle the ball down, win knockdowns. And now you can start your sequences, as you see there, but then a turnover.
This is Salgado. Looking for his left foot. And it's cut out by Nick Hines. Hines sends up to Dillon. Rebellon.
Locomotive pressing high, so hold-up play for Tacoma Defiance is going to be very important. Hold-up play and then being able to stretch the team as well, stretch the defense vertically, so balls in behind to stretch them because they're pressing really high, especially at the early stages of this game.
Bergholz to Hines.
Here again, you see the press. They initiate it. They kind of wait. They have a deeper line of confrontation, maybe top of the circle. But when they go as a cohesive unit, which makes it very difficult to break down.
But turning up the throw, and Yuma Monsalvis is going to send it long. Brian Meredith is out of his area. Knocks it back across midfield. Here's Gonzalez. He stood straight up by Rebellon. Hines going down there, draws the free kick. Well, didn't look to be too much in by Rebellon, but Hines stays down.
Tidy play by Hines. Good combination there off the throw-in.
Replay.
A little play and go. Gets chopped down a little bit. 2 players down.
Another man on the pitch is Azrael Gonzalez. He's back to his feet, and Hines saying, I don't need the trainers. I think he kind of just got the wind knocked out of him. Anytime you get the contact right there on the solar plexus, James, we've all been there before.
Right.
You're always astonished to see how quickly you can find yourself out of breath. Joel Ridestrand pushes one toward the far post. Contact on the header, but nothing toward goal. It's out for a goal kick.
And this is where communication needs to be happening for Tacoma Defiance. And there you see just communication, get the line set, get the team organized. See if we can press El Paso high.
Toko sends out of his own end. It's headed back into Ketterer.
Paso pretty content to play out of the back, so this is where you can really initiate a press and get numbers high. Tacoma Defiance should really try to cause turnovers in their own attacking third, which allows them to go directly to goal.
Well, it's not a turnover in open play, but Jesse Daly manages to do just that, pressing on the near sideline. Flag up for offside. Pardon me, for the foul, rather. Poked forward by Robles, blocked by Daly. Contreras with it here. Going wide to Ross. Contreras back on it now.
Contreras is tidy, very shifty with that left foot.
Clever. Ball poked away and blasted away by Hines before it reaches Salgado.
Yeah, and it's tough to be 1 against 4, but that's the type of play that Tacoma Defiance really needs to get. It's a hold-up play, whether you draw a foul or whether you can really hold it up and be strong, but that outlet is going to be key.
Here's Monsalves. Rebellon and Yuma. Crunching challenge there by Jesse Daly. Gives away the free kick and got the better part of Richie Ryan as well.
Richie Ryan's going to carry a bit of weight on his shoulders today. Normally Jerome Kiffey, who's out, is their ball control master at the left back, but it's Richie Ryan who normally picks up that second load for controlling the pace of play.
Set piece opportunity here. Salgado's unmarked. Now they shift over, cover. It's going to be a dangerous in-swinging opportunity here for El Paso.
The ball in from Contreras. Curling toward goal, and Toko gives chase. Gets a header to it, just too wide a goal.
It's a good ball.
chaos there a little bit helped out by this setting sun. James, can you talk about, as a defender, trying to track those balls out of the air when you can't see them?
Very tough, especially when it's a fantastic ball curled in like that. Very cultured left foot in between the goalkeeper and the defense. So Meredith has obviously stayed on his line, and the defender was able, or Locomotive was able to get to it first, but then definitely the sun was the variable in that situation.
Here's Salgado. He's got the edge on Hines. And look at Salgado in the open field. Dumps over a sliding challenge. That ball toward the byline, held in.
Ooh, if Salgado goes down there, it's a penalty.
Ross.
Easily could be a penalty.
Ross settling underneath the ball inside the area. A header from Burkholz. Burkholz getting to that ball again.
Salgado just galloping through the midfield and attacking third. Tacoma Defiance here. If he drags his foot, a savvy veteran drags his foot there possibly and draws a penalty. Very easily could have drawn a penalty if he drags his foot off that challenge inside the box.
Well, at least there have been no other early penalties in the world of soccer today.
Do you think it's a penalty?
Oh,
would you have called it that
We're
early?
going to have a very long discussion about this off the
it's a
air.
tough one.
My short answer is yes. Meanwhile, a free kick going the way of El Paso Locomotive.
So they got it right, in your opinion?
I do believe so.
Yeah.
And I will be very conscientious to not provide my Twitter credentials so that people can start to tell me why I'm wrong. Toko. Far side to Rebellon. There goes Contreras once more.
Contreras, clever. Such a tidy, savvy player.
It's Ross now pressing forward. He goes wide to Fox. Fox, an option at the back post. Under hits, and he was looking for Kiesewetter.
Locomotive very comfortable in possession, whether in their own defensive third, the middle third, attacking third, but especially in that middle third, defensive third. They're very, very confident on the ball. They give each other good angles. They're confident in their 1v1 abilities, attacking wise, and they set up good combination sequences to break pressure and get through the midfield, and then get opportunities in the attacking third, whether it be from crosses.
Potential bit of trouble here for Tacoma. Nick Hines voluntarily gone to ground as that ball went out of play, and like clockwork, Chris Little has motioned to all the potential subs on the bench who are now up and beginning to warm up.
Defiance aren't carrying a backup left back tonight.
So looking at his left knee, possibly.
And there's Hines just there at the left edge of your picture, decides that something doesn't feel right. And he has gone down here in the 13th minute. Well, fans, follow Tacoma Defiance and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN+, and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com.
Tacoma players are talking themselves through what adjustments they need to make right now.
Joseph Salinas, the referee, doing what he can to encourage the Tacoma training staff to get him off the pitch so that play can continue. And now we'll see if Hines motions to be brought back on in just a minute, but he appears to be in a great deal of discomfort as he walks off the pitch here.
It should be a Defiance throw-in because the ball went out of play after Salgado blocked Hines' clearance.
Jesse Daly over to the far sideline to take that now. We're back underway. Trainer asking permission for Hines to re-enter and gets it from the referee. Rejoins play.
Oh, that's on the top of the box. That could be a penalty. Very close.
Yeah, can't get any closer than that. Referee Joseph Salinas standing right on the edge of the penalty area. And it's drawn by Kiesewetter. Here's another look. An unfortunate foot left in by Henry Wingo there, tripping up Kiesewetter. Now another dangerous free kick in the early goings.
I think Kiesewetter took himself out of earning that penalty just by heading away from the area. I think if he fell into the area, that might be one where the blur of that line changes the call.
Now you have an in-swinger right foot this time.
Kiesewetter pushed it toward the back post. Brian Meredith gets it, blocks the rebound, and clears the second shot.
Great reaction by Meredith. But look at that, 1 player versus 7. I mean, Locomotive not only had the opportunity on that set piece, but the amount of guys that track back, that's a committed team there. Usually you think someone could break, maybe he's breaking 1v3, 1v2, but 1v6, 1v7, that's going to be a very difficult battle to win.
Nick Hines draws in Contreras there. And turns it over on the ball intended for Daly. Salgado for Contreras. Low ball in. Ross lets it ride. And it's chipped out for a corner.
One-way traffic here now for Locomotive. I mean, they're definitely, certainly dominating the game. Possession, their abilities to win second balls, their abilities to track back, get numbers behind the ball, to hunt the ball in packs. Very difficult for Tacoma Defiance to put together sequences and get out of their own defensive third at the moment.
The ball in from the far side from Richie Ryan. Into the grinder once more. That one headed away for another corner. Always a bit of a heart and throat moment for a back line when it comes off a defender's head and moves in the direction of goal.
Right.
Defiance set to have 1.5 able to break out if they win this.
Into the mixer, headed away by Ridestrand.
Oof.
Away by Gonzalez.
He just needs to overhit that. Gonzalez needs to overhit it, and he has a player there. Don't underhit it, because then you allow Locomotive to jump on it. Just overhit it. Put it into space where they have to turn and face their own goal and sprint back. Very calm. Yeah, Locomotive is very, very calm and composed in the back and retaining possession.
Well, it seems a little bit like playing into that is every time Tacoma gets back on the ball, they take 1 or 2 touches and then their pass is mishit. They're not finding each other.
Right. Yeah, very difficult to establish rhythm if you can't establish that first pass at a transition. Usually you want to try to connect that first 1, 2, possibly even 3 passes out of transition, establish a rhythm, and then build from there. But if you're finding difficulty connecting that first pass, then definitely know it could be a long night. And there we go. There it is. Good. And just establish a rhythm. There it is. 3, 4, 5. Good. Allows the team to breathe, expand. But then again here, Locomotive pushing their line very high, forcing the tempo and the play. They're dictating the pace not only with the ball, but without the ball. By dictating the pace without the ball, they press the line high. And with the ball, just very composed and collected in their sequence and build-up.
Free kick there benefiting Tacoma.
There's a great opportunity here for Tacoma. Just get a good service, fight for the knockdown, challenge that first ball, and try to get something here.
Robles over the ball. Drives it into the area, but can't get past the defensive wall of El Paso. There is Contreras, and he has been all over for El Paso in these first 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, fantastic player. Contreras is phenomenal pedigree, very good so far this early on in this game. Salgado as well. Salgado, big body, left foot. You can see him galloping through the midfield of Tacoma Defiance. Very clean with his touch, simple, effective player, powerful. Great matchup and a challenge here for Hines. And that's what you want from an outside back. I mean, it's an opportunity to really dominate when you're 1v1 duel. This is an opportunity they have to take advantage of here.
It's Dillon. The flag stayed down. Chip far side, Gonzalez. A touch to settle. Gonzalez goes for goal and scores!
He saved it. No, it was cleared off the line. What a defensive play. Defender cleared it off the line. Oh, my goodness.
Astonishing. Gonzalez, a touch just to control it. And
oh, the keeper's beat.
The
what
stop there
a
from
play.
Drew Becky.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I mean, if my call doesn't make it obvious enough, that looked for sure that it was bound
Brilliant.
for the back of the net.
What a touch. What a play there by Dillon. What a touch to bring that ball down. Beats the goalkeeper low to the back post. Unbelievable defensive play. That was the break that Tacoma Defiance needed, because from then they could bunker and really look to counter. They really could have made Locomotive pay for that mistake. It was a mistake by Locomotive. Ball skips through the defender. Dillon does very well to jump on it. Clever little ball across the mouth of goal. Great first touch. Beats the goalkeeper, and an unbelievable save off the line. Wow.
Replay.
Just one more look at it, and that's the definitive angle right there. I think we might have a candidate for save of the week right there.
Right.
Ridestrand's pushed that wide. Here's Henry Wingo. Wingo a low cross and dealt out by Ntoko.
Decent little ball there by Wingo. Wingo definitely has the ability to get up and down that right flank. He's in a good spot there. Takes a good first touch. Tries to whip it across the face of the 6-yard box.
Suddenly, Dave, a little bit of momentum rallied Tacoma's way.
Yeah, when they play fast and forward, it's almost like they stop thinking and play instinctive. We've seen them play better that way in the past, and that's kind of what Justin Dillon has instilled in them, and Jesse Daly has asked them to do. Chris Little talks about it being ruthless and imposing the will of the team on the opposing side. That's what he wants. Henry Wingo trying to claim that he was just hand checking there, but it was
yeah.
2 hands driving them out into the ground.
You don't normally get the benefit of the doubt on that one when you pile drive the man in front of you into the ditch. Andrew Fox. Ntoko. Tacoma trying to tighten that drag net. Dealt away by Ketterer. And another crunching challenge along the near sideline. Sam Rogers can get a talking to there. Wade Weber checking in on Contreras, who
certainly get a yellow there.
Just got acquainted with Sam Rogers, who will be cautioned for that challenge. Yeah, no argument out of the center back about that one.
Don't mind that from Rogers. Instilling a little bit of bite. That's what he's needed to add to his game. A bit of ruthlessness, a bit of bite and steal. Obviously, he goes to challenge for that ball, misjudges it, mistimes. Definitely wasn't on purpose, but gets a piece of the man. Nothing wrong with that. If Tacoma can set up their press correctly, Locomotive is 100% going to try to play out the back. And so if they can pick one off and really, really punish them, then they can really gain a foothold in this game. Locomotive possession, again, in the defensive third is very good. The middle third is very good, but definitely susceptible to being picked off.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. There's Becky going down the line, and well, not a very difficult decision for the assistant referee on the far sideline.
It's a good line. And that's how you can squeeze the game as well. If you have your back line, if you have your center backs holding a higher line, now you condense the field. Now Locomotive has restricted space to play into. Very good line held there by Tacoma Defiance.
Nearly taken away from Sam Rogers. Brian Meredith out to cover it. Held in by Wingo on the near sideline. Salgado here, dragging Hines with him. And El Paso switched the play. Now to Fox. Juan Contreras through on the ground. Wingo tied up. Referee says play on. Gonsalves wants Salgado over the top. Burkhold's coming over to cover. Salgado gets there first.
Cheeky little ball over the top. Great tackle. Great cover by the center back there. That's what you want from your center back. You can tell your outside back, hey, listen, just get tight to the outside midfielder. I'll have your cover. So now your outside back, who's usually on an island, has the confidence to go tight to Salgado, knowing that if he spins and tries to go over the top, that you have a center back that slides over and covers you. So that was great cover there.
And Salgado stayed down for a minute there, feeling the challenge a little bit. Might have been hoping for a free kick. In any case, it is a corner to be taken by Richie Ryan. Ryan Meredith with both hands trying to shield the sun out of his eyes. In from Ryan. Head at the back post, turned in front of goal. Meredith with another flash save, point blank on Kiesewetter.
Great save there by Meredith. Little just clip ball, curled in, gets to the back post, headed back across. Little flick in front of goal. Meredith very good with the cat-like reflexes to save that.
Replay.
Another look at that save.
Oh, it's a great save.
Credit to Kiesewetter just for getting it on frame with that redirect.
There you go, and see Tacoma Defiance edging their line up, their back lines up past the top of the circle. And now this is how you can really edge the game. So now you can push your midfield up, your midfield line higher, your forward line higher, and just pick your opportunities here to go forward and really press and try to pick one off of Locomotive. But again, Locomotive very tidy in possession. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. They're out. Stretches the defense. Lets Salgado go on a run.
Shielded off well that time by Alex Burkholz.
Very good defensive cover there again. But again, Locomotive very good and clinical. They just put together their rondo sequences. Literally 1, 2, 3. Tiki-taka in their defensive third, midfield third. Allows them to spring a player.
Brandon Meredith can't get the distribution right. This is Monsalves. Contreras immediately toward Kiesewetter.
Look at that. As soon as they lose the ball, their ability to hunt it as packs is phenomenal.
Ball in from Contreras over the head of Kiesewetter, headed by Hines,
Fantastic
and he'll turn it over the pole. Brian Meredith nearly with the acrobatic play along his own byline to hold that ball.
Yeah. It's a fantastic play. I mean, as soon as you think that you have won it, Tacoma Defiance, I mean, Locomotive is hunting the ball right away. Cause a turnover in their own attacking third. Fantastic ball whipped in, very difficult to deal with. And they get a corner out of it.
Fourth of the match for El Paso Locomotive. In-swinger from Ryan. Headed out that time by Justin Dillon. Monsalves a touch to try to control it. Still loose inside the area and hit into the goal by an offside Kiesewetter. And Brian Meredith will be happy to see that. And that's one of those ones where the referee is overruling the assistant referee and saying that Kiesewetter played that ball from a legitimate position. The goal's going to stand.
Wow.
Defiance players are asking the AR who'd raised his flag to explain to the center ref what happened.
Replay on this. Interesting.
Kiesewetter clearly played that.
Gentlemen, I pride myself on being up to date on the interpretations of the laws.
Right.
I just don't see
It's
any
a tough
way
one for me too.
that you can look at that video and say that that's a legitimate goal.
And you get a second look. I thought the same. I mean, they're still talking about it. You'd see Wade there asking about the call right now. Yeah, Wade and Coach Little still talking about it to the fourth official, still trying to get an explanation or talking about why it should be an offside.
And we didn't get a good enough look as the ball came through traffic after the touch by Monsalves.
Right.
The only thing I could possibly think is if Joseph Salinas ruled that a defender from Tacoma made a deliberate attempt to play the ball, and in so doing it fell to Kiesewetter, he wouldn't be in an offside position. That's the only possible interpretation. Meanwhile, another through ball, another shot, and that one on the outside of the net. Here it is again.
Now we need it a bit further back there, but it looks to be in an offside position. The player does, but
what's interesting is if 24 hits that, it's clearly
a
goal.
Definitely.
By
definitely.
Kiesewetter touching it, I think this is where we have become confused.
Meanwhile, still a corner to be dealt with by Richie Ryan. So theater of the bizarre here at Cheney Stadium. El Paso Locomotive FC on top.
Locomotive, fantastic in possession, very good. Everyone's comfortable on the ball, from their center backs to the outside backs, center midfielders dictating pace and tempo. Outside mids pop in when they need to. And again, even when you think you've won the ball, they fight for it again and still win it, retain possession. Now they're just playing keep away here.
Rogers past midfield here. Out and dancing with it and tripped up is Shannon Hopiau, who has not had too many opportunities to get involved so far through these 35 minutes. A through ball, this one for Dylan. Wingo.
It's a good battle possession there put together by Tacoma Defiance. And an unforced turnover.
Here's Contreras once more, shuttling the ball through midfield. Wide for Salgado.
With how Locomotive like to play, keeping that possession, controlling the tempo and pace, it's going to be hard to counter against that.
Very, very true.
Contreras switches over to Fox on the near side. First time cross from Fox leads to a throw-in. Work along the byline. Turned over to Wingo. It seems likely that just the long ball solution from Tacoma on these clearances is just going to result in more turnovers.
It will, yeah. I mean, just because the hold-up play, it's not good enough. Dylan is a good player, but he can't hold the ball up against 1v2, 1v3, sometimes even 1v4. And so they have to, again, put together their sequences.
Do they need to look into wider spaces
on
those clearances?
Yes,
then?
but then they have to edge their line. So now, in their possession, when they will get their opportunities per possession, this is where they have to sustain it now. They have to sustain the pressure higher up the field. Now it's regressed. Now you have lines in behind, opportunities in behind. Hines down again.
Nick Hines has not had a very pleasant day as far as his own personal health is concerned through these 37 minutes. And they are going to sing low for the trainers once more. Tune into ESPN News on Wednesday, June 5th at 6 p.m. for Wednesday Night Soccer when OKC Energy FC travels to Albuquerque to face current Western Conference leaders New Mexico United. It's the week's best match on Wednesday Night Soccer, June 5th at 6 p.m. on ESPN News. A look at the challenge that has brought down Hines. I think that might have just re-aggravated something that was already wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The defenders on the bench are Modu Endau, who's really a natural center back, and Denzo Ulysses, a natural right back.
Dave, do you reckon if you have to make a change for Nick Hines, is Henry Wingo flexible enough to switch over and play left back?
I'd expect to make the least amount of changes possible. You probably do something like Jesse Daly into the left back situation. He's kind of a utility defender. They've used him in right back in the past. Or they could do a major formation shift. Modu Endau has 1 or 2 games at left back in his career. He is a left-footed center back, so if you wanted to go 3-man back line.
Nick Hines waved back on once more for Tacoma Defiance. Well, certainly no quitting that young man, is there?
No, he's been tested today. He has a fantastic battle. He's up against Salgado, but also just physically. There's been a lot of action down his right side, a very dynamic Locomotive team. But then again, he has the ability to get into the attack himself.
Rydstrand committing the free kick offense on the near sideline.
Locomotive's ability, again, to play out of the back calmly, hold up play, draw fouls, combine out of it. Center backs doing 1-2s right now across their top of their 18. Very impressed with their game for sure.
Hines wins that ball away. Dillon moving ahead of him. The through ball toward Justin Dillon. Sliding challenge from Drew Becky. Cuts out the through ball. And Dillon dispossessed by a retreating Contreras. Swung in by Hines.
And
Reaches
this is where you
Ringo.
have to sustain pressure. Sustain the pressure. Do not let Locomotive get out of this.
Daly for Wingo. Wingo around one defender. And his cross is blocked by Fox.
Well down by Tacoma Defiance there.
The give and go. Ketterer loops off his line. Gets it away from Hopiau.
Great idea there. Keeper was very good, quick off his line, but a very clever idea with the 1-2. Sam Rogers good, again, very composed. His entry ball was very good, allowed that combination to initiate. There we go. Tacoma Defiance just needs to string together some passes. They're fully capable. They've put some good bouts together already this game.
Burkholz going down line. This one might be through for Dillon. Dillon, Becky retreating to cover. Dillon wants his right foot here. Cuts inside. He shoots. He
Great.
scores! Justin Dillon, 5 goals, 5 games. The man is on fire, and Tacoma are level.
That's a fantastic goal by Dillon. You thought that he showed it a little bit to the defender, a bit much. The defender looked to have an opportunity to take it right there, and they didn't. Hesitates, allows him to pull it back on his right foot. Tidy, tidy finish to the back post. But again, defender there hesitated a bit. He had it. Dillon showed it to him, took a touch that got a little bit away from him, but the defender doesn't react, allows Dillon to cut it outside of his right foot and tuck it to the back post. Fantastic finish there. That's definitely going to give Tacoma Defiance a bit of life and let them know that they're fully capable of playing against Locomotive.
Just 3 weeks ago, Justin Dillon had 0 goals. He's now got 5, and he is tied for 12th in the Western Conference leaderboard now.
You have to think now that as opposing teams start to do their film study, they just have 99 up on the drawing board to have it circled. Hopiau drawing the free kick after the referee played advantage.
And he's just grinding for it. Like, what he has done has, as a 23-year-old seasoned veteran on this squad, is create goals through multiple channels.
Right.
Robles chopped down there. Play allowed to continue by the referee.
Good read by Sam Rogers there. And in order for Tacoma Defiance to sustain possession, your 2 center backs are going to have to be very good in the back in their 1v1 duels and reading through balls just like that. That allowed you to edge up your midfield line, edge up your outside backs, edge up your front line, and say, hey, we need to edge the line, put some more pressure up on El Paso, higher up the field. We'll take care of everything in the back. But here, one ball splits 2 lines for Tacoma Defiance. That's what can't happen. Their lines need to be a bit more compact, defend it inside to out, and then when it gets to one side, you have to move to lock it down there. Lock it on that side. Don't let it get to the other side.
Dillon dropping back in. Ryan retreats back to Becky.
And again, Locomotive going side to side at will, going vertical at will.
Henry Wingo draws the free kick on the near side. And Contreras saying that he was giving as good as he was getting. And the referee unmoved.
Yes, when Contreras got that, Wingo was called for a foul.
Mm-hmm.
Burkholz. Looking over the top for Dillon. Rebillon is there. Rebillon is down. And El Paso has a free kick. "45th minute. No word yet on how much extra time we'll play.
It's just not tight enough. It's not tight enough. It needs to be two extra yards. Need to spin, run with runners. It's just not tight enough to players right now.
And the fourth official now signaling that we'll play 4 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half.
Attention, please. The referee has added 4 minutes of stoppage time in the first half.
And Dave, one of these things about these Justin Dillon goals lately is that they seem to be so timely. You know, I mean, he started this scoring streak with the fastest goal in USL Championship history, but they've really come at crucial moments. Perhaps none better than that 90th minute equalizer against Fresno FC.
Yeah, his goal scoring tends to be right when the team is emotionally drained. Like if they go into halftime down 1-0 off of that call, they could be drained and that could kind of end this game for them. But instead they go in now knowing they're capable of winning.
Jesse Daly called for the foul there right at midfield.
Yuma almost as confused as Jesse Daly by the call in this case.
Ball comes out wide for Salgado. Left-footed cross this time. And return to sender as far as Salgado's concerned. Leaves it for Rebillon. Longer cross, Wingo. Heads it over the byline, making the safe play.
He lined up for that header, and I was wondering where he was going to direct it at first, because Brian Meredith was right there.
Judging from Brian Meredith's reaction, I think he was guessing where Henry Wingo was going to direct it as well. Corner in from Contreras this time. Header won by Dillon. Contreras decides to call his own number. Interesting technique on that outside of the left foot shot.
I don't mind it from Contreras. He seems to be able to do whatever he wants in this game, especially when it's on that left foot. Looks to have a go at goal there. Off the volley.
Back underway from Brian Meredith. And another whistle in midfield.
Dillon don't mind it. Look at him battling, scrapping for balls there. Not bad.
Gonsalves to Ross. Going through here for Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter's cross blocked by Hines. Right back to him. Meredith with the tap deflection. Might fall in for Ross here. Another parry for Meredith. A third cross cut out by Rydstrand. Brian Meredith has made 3 or 4 point-blank saves here in the first half to keep this level at 1-1.
Meredith's saves have been good, but 2 of them have come on the account of errors that he doesn't typically make. We had a drop ball that he came off on a service, dropped it in front of goal, had to react, and then this one, with that sun, he kind of parried it with one arm, one hand, puts it right on top of the 6-yard box penalty area, and then he had to come up with another big save. So the 2 out of the 3 saves that he's had to make have come out of his own errors on the initial play, but he's done very well to react and make the save that's needed.
Pressing down the far sideline, even though Azrael Gonzalez is down behind the run of play. Now the ball heads out
Ezreal a little gingerly getting, and he's back down.
Well, the referee's blown for halftime. Some interesting goals we've had in the first half, and some extracurriculars as well here after the final whistle. Jesse Daly never afraid to make his presence felt. Omar Salgado taking some exception. And James, a very interesting first 45 minutes.
Don't mind it, and it's still going on now. Daly, not bad. Now he just has to rally the troops as well in his own locker room to come out and play with a little bit more bite. So they're still 1 to 2 yards slow in closing down Locomotive, which allows them to penetrate and keep possession in the defensive third and middle third. If they bring that type of attitude, that type of bite to the second half and compete from the get-go, there's definitely a couple more goals in it and chances for Tacoma Defiance.
Dave, just really, can the value of that equalizer be understated for Justin Dillon's ability to push his way through, get on the end of that ball, and then make a very good move against a very experienced defender in Drew Becky?
Yeah, beating Drew Becky like that should give Dillon confidence, and there's some spirit right now in the squad. Captain Sam Rogers was asking the referees to explain things, and so is Wade Weber. Chris Little had to pull Wade Weber away from the referees there as they headed back into the dugout. So I think there's going to be a spirited conversation. The second half should be strong.
Well, we'll take a break here on ESPN Plus. When we return, we'll have a look around the league. Again, at the break, 1-1 between Tacoma Defiance and El Paso Locomotive FC.
Statesboro, it's like this little oasis of a location.
I think Statesboro loves itself. It's the first thing I would say.
This is a win for the community. Not only are we getting a professional level soccer team, a sport that's loved around the world, but we are now creating an economic development area that's going to have a huge impact on our community and throughout this region.
I'm not surprised, to be honest, that Tormenta was one of the first teams approached when League One came about. I think it was blatantly obvious to everyone that knew anything about American soccer that Tormenta was a force in League Two, and everything from top to bottom was done so professionally that I had a good year in college and I had some other looks, but for me, I wanted to be at Tormenta FC, and I knew there was 10 other guys coming back here that I knew were bought in and they have the same goals that I do.
This is the first step of a very, very, very long journey. This is a league match. We set some pretty lofty expectations for results this year, did we not? Yeah. Okay?
Getting here, okay, is a good place to be. And now, what you guys need to do is take it that one step further.
Family, boys! Family, 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 eh?
Yeah!
It is halftime here at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington. 1-1 through 45 minutes between Tacoma Defiance and El Paso Locomotive FC. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our halftime coverage here on ESPN+. I'm Andrew Harvey, alongside James Riley and Dave Clark. Gentlemen, plenty to talk about in this match, but before we do, let's take a look at what else is going on around the USL Championship. Here are some other scores from matches that have gone on. Well, I guess we'll take a look at some other news around the league first. And obviously, this is that time of year when everyone is announcing their summer friendly slate.
Yeah, San Antonio and New Mexico get to host Cardiff City. Huge for those teams down in the Southwest. Orange County SC hosting Club Tijuana Zolos. James, what did it mean for you when you got to play against some of those international squads?
Oh, it's great. I think it's great for the entire squad, especially when you bring a storied club to your home environment. It's just good to get reps against, a different team, has a different cadence, a different history. So definitely, a very great showcase for USL to bring in those teams.
Meanwhile, some success for USL Championship teams in the U.S. Open Cup. A fair number of teams making it through to that fourth round, Dave.
Yeah, 10 from the USL Championship make it to the fourth round. 3 of them get the honor of hosting an MLS side. And then we have to mention it, Cheney Stadium gets to host Sounders versus Timbers, which should be a huge U.S. Open Cup match.
That's going to be an absolute blast. James, obviously, some very fond Open Cup memories from your playing days, I imagine.
Right. No, Open Cup is a fantastic tournament. I'm very fortunate to have 5 U.S. Open Cup championships under my belt, all of them very special. So I love this tournament. I love the fact that USL teams have an opportunity, MLS teams, everyone underneath that. It makes for a fantastic competition.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the last piece of news, summer, always a busy time in the international soccer scene. This year, no different. Copa America, Gold Cup coming up, and some good representation for the USL Championship as well, Dave.
Yeah, on provisional rosters, 38 USL Championship players are going to wind up on those provisional Gold Cup rosters. Real strong representation from Jamaica and Panama, both of them with 11, and also Trinidad and Tobago well represented. The two teams here tonight have a player on the Haitian squad too.
Well, now let's take a look at some other scores from what's gone on around in the USL Championship this weekend.
Good for Colorado Springs Switchbacks there, FC. They got their win 1-0 over Fresno. That pulls them up out of the bottom as Tacoma Defiance and Colorado Switchbacks try to compete and pull themselves up above the red line.
Absolutely. Let's flip over now to the Western Conference standings for the USL Championship. And as you can see, that playoff picture, starting to stratify a little bit up there, but below the red line at the moment, there's still plenty of room for anyone to rise up and grab a spot.
Any team with basically 2 wins, whether it's Tacoma Defiance, Colorado Springs Switchback, any team below the red line, if you get 2 wins, you're threatening the playoff positions. That those 9 and 10 slots are really competitive throughout the league. And then up at the top, New Mexico United has just been dominating the USL West.
Absolutely. Well, that's what's going on around the USL Championship. When we come back, we'll take a look. We've had big goals. We've had big stops. We'll see it all. Highlights and more are next on ESPN+. Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here on ESPN Plus. About to get started for the about to get the second half started, but first let's run through our first half highlights. There's a lot to cover, including some very interesting calls, James.
Yes, most important is the offside call that we'll get to, but here again, Meredith usually doesn't drop those, but drops it and comes up with a big save, a fantastic goal line save, a defender there for El Paso. That would have put Tacoma Defiance up 1-0. Again, point-blank save there by Brian Meredith. And then this is the one of the day where it's going to be interesting. Sam Rogers comes in with the big swing, still deflects, offside goal. Still, for me, seems offsides, but it's going to be an interesting call how the referee decides or writes that one after the game report. A lot of action from the first half. A lot of action. I expect a lot more of the same here in the second half. You have two teams that like to play. Locomotive like to possess the ball, get forward, and you have Tacoma Defiance that's going to come out, I'm sure, with some bite and some determination here to get a result here at home.
Well, certainly you've gotten your money's worth so far if you've come out to see this one. And great weather for it, too, as the sun continues to dip down below the horizon. A shade now fully enveloping the pitch here at Cheney Stadium.
Defiance are generally a bit stronger going to the south goal, although historically they're also stronger scoring in the first half than the second.
Attention, please. Tacoma Defiance have made their first change of match. Leaving the match, number 23, Henry Wingo. Replaced by number 36, Denzo Ulysses.
Henry Wingo has been subbed out at the half to bring on Denzo Ulysses. A Haitian right back will be asked to go 45 minutes here.
Denzo I like. Even with his small frame, he brings a little bite, so he'll bring some excitement to the game, getting some tackles, get forward a bit as well.
As you pointed out, Dave, wins far more challenges in the air than a man of his stature would be expected to.
No, he's got great ups. I kind of want to see him on the basketball court because I have a feeling he could do some Nate Robinson.
Fantastic reference. That should be his nickname. That's a great reference.
Denzo's also one of the two players in this game who is on that provisional roster for Haiti. So he might have a little bit more inspiration to make that final cut.
Very true.
This is Ulysses here. Of course, Machak Jerome, his counterpart Haitian on El Paso Locomotive FC. Not in the 18 today. Well, James, for so long in that first half, El Paso just completely dominated possession, and it really impeded Tacoma's ability to get anything done moving into the final third. What has to change here in the second half?
Tacoma Defiance has to force the issue a bit. I mean, they have to get pressure to the ball a bit more, identify players that maybe aren't as good with the ball technically, and highlight them to go and steal the ball. They've created opportunities. They've definitely been able to pick some balls off in the defensive third. They have to continue again, just late. They need to be, instead of being 1-2 yards behind, they just have to be very strong and determined to cut off passing lanes and get pressure on the ball.
Do you think they're trying a little too hard to bait the pass where they're trying to intercept it rather than tackle?
Very true. And sometimes, as a defender, if you make a player go square or negative, you've done your job. So you don't have to always bite in and go for a tackle, because if you do and you miss, now the team's chasing because you just let your man get by you, and now the entire team has to regress a bit. So it's just to be...
Big cross into the area. Free header. Takes an awkward redirect, and Brian Meredith flashes the hands.
Honest in your defending, and sure, just make the team go negative. If you can make everyone go negative, 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 then eventually you'll be able to pick it off. And then they also have to sustain pressure. Like right now, when they're able to get it into Locomotive's attacking third, they have to be able to edge their lines and sustain that pressure. Keep Locomotive locked in, pinned in.
Hines. For a little bit of space here. Rydstrand sent that wide. Now it's Gonzalez. Gonzalez on his right foot. Gonzalez goes for goal and won't put it on frame.
Decent effort there. Very good possession from the defensive third into the middle third, allows them to penetrate to the attacking third. Very good sequence, leads to a shot. So if they could come to Defiance, can continue to get waves like that, it'd be very good. And now here's where the game will be decided. How can they press Locomotive to cause turnovers and not give up fouls, right? All it is to be pressure on the back, make him go negative, don't bail him out. Locomotive has some very veteran-savvy players that can draw fouls, and that's what they're doing consistently. If they feel themselves in trouble and they can't get out technically, then they're able to put their body in the way and draw fouls. So Tacoma Defiance just has to be sure and honest in their defending. Just make the player go negative. Don't bail him out, especially in that instance there is a perfect example.
Certainly, Javier Yuma Monsalves, the man who drew that free kick just now off Jesse Daly, one of those players. Originally part of Rayo Vallecano in Spain. Another free kick drawn there. Last time off of Danny Robles. But Monsalves came to the United States when Vallecano tried to start Rayo OKC, the Spanish-operated NASL club.
I remember that, yep.
Been here ever since. Nick Hines called for the hand check there. Hopiao jumps in and wins that ball, trying to settle it. Hopiao dances around Rebellon.
And those are the turnovers that I was referring to. Tacoma Defiance will have their opportunities to pick off passes like that, and then what they do after that in transition, right? Can they get the ball wide? It doesn't have to necessarily always be a direct route to goal, but within that turnover, can they get the ball out wide, create space, get a service opportunity? But that's a prime example that Locomotive is susceptible to giving up very dangerous opportunities in their own defensive third.
The younger Jesse Daly proving to Monsalves that he can draw fouls too, it seems.
Center referee's calling it a little bit tighter this half than he did at any point in the first half so far.
James, you'll often see referees do that when they feel that the temper of a match might be rising a little bit, try to get control, take some of the bite out of things. Does it work in your experience?
A little bit. You like to see a referee let the guys play. Definitely going to be a battle, but you could see the heated exchanges before the halftime or leading into the halftime segment. There were still some words being exchanged, and they've come out, and it has proven that. Tacoma Defiance has come out with a little bit of bite. I think they've had the first 3 or so fouls. So you definitely want to continue to be on the front foot. You don't mind fouls in your own attacking third. You don't want to bail teams out, but if it's a hard challenge and you're trying to win the ball, then it's no problem.
Back pass there, dangerous. Ketterer forced to go wide with it. And
these are the turnovers, perfect. If you can sequence that, if you can time that press together, it has to be cohesive though. It can't be Dylan going by himself. It has to be Dylan followed by Hopiao, and everyone in that back line has to be edged up so that you can force those turnovers. And now here you can sustain possession and put together a little rhythm.
James, on a deep throw-in opportunity like that, do you not want the team to retreat like that? Would you rather them go towards goal?
Great question. Yeah, if there's a long throw, and if you have a long throw,
Gonzalez get the cutback cross here to Dylan, pushed wide to Hines.
The long throw is definitely a weapon. So if you have it, without a doubt, get your bodies forward. Especially if that's an opportunity for you to get a look at goal, then you bring your big bodies forward and get a long throw, without a doubt.
Ulysses going on a long run to recover that attempted switch the field. Can't pull it off in the end.
And Hines still being a relatively new left back, just getting pinned behind Salgado. Yes, Salgado has a big frame. but sometimes you can get side on. Anticipate it, be side on more so you can step in front of the ball instead of trying to step in front of it from behind Salgado. It's a very big frame, great hold-up play, and Hines is kind of getting caught behind him.
Nick Hines bowled over by Kiesewetter here. Yeah, that's a foul, nothing more. Referee called it quickly.
Yep.
Of course, for a man who's had a bit of an accumulation in knocks over the span of 55 minutes.
Right.
Nick Hines may have a personally reserved ice bath by the time that this match ends. Rogers taking his space. Hopiau. Robles. Back for Hopiau. Muscled off the ball by Becky. And a collision there as Jesse Daly's going to see yellow. It was Shannon Hopiau that was in on the foul on Sebastian Contreras. And Daly winds up talking himself into a yellow card. Pardon me, Daly is the one who stuck the leg, and I only saw Hopiau wind up on top of Contreras. So Daly booked here in the 56th.
Don't mind that from Daly. Honest attempt at the ball, breaks up the play in the middle of the park.
That's his 5th foul of the game, so I have a feeling it's for persistent infringement in this case.
He'd been given his warning and then some.
And you need it as a midfielder running around. He's almost been running around ragged. I mean, Locomotive's midfield dynamic play has been very good, and so he's been forced into a lot of fouls just because he's been late.
This time it's Salgado down on the pitch along the near sideline.
And this is what Tacoma needs from the get-go. You need a team. This is going to be obviously it's a very young team versus a very mature, experienced team. And for a young team to be able to battle that experience, sometimes you have to come out and just be gritty and be ready to battle and chop players down and break up the play and not let Locomotive get into their rhythm and their flow and their cadence of knocking the ball around, because when they do, they're very good. And now you put guys around it. Look, great opportunity for them to hunt the ball in packs, and that's how you do it. Break up the rhythm and look to get it on the break or a set-piece opportunity. But you don't let a team just knock the ball around you, ping it through you, and penetrate that way. You have to have a bit more desire and a bit more edge to your game, and they're showing it thus far in this second half. Don't mind it at all.
Well, times earlier in the year, as Dylan is sticking a leg in there, earlier in the year you had mentioned that felt like something that Defiance was lacking a little bit. They seem to have found it. Is that a question of maturity, or is it something else?
I think it's both. I mean, personnel. I mean, sometimes you have younger players that don't know that you have to battle for the right to play, and you might have to battle for 80 minutes to get that 10 minutes of joy to be able to knock the ball around and play. But you certainly, key characteristics is you don't let a team come into your home field and knock the ball around the park, especially through your midfield and center of the park. You have to be able to chop guys down and break up the play and break up the cadence that way. So it just comes through experience as well as just personnel.
5 of the players on the pitch for Tacoma Defiance have 40 or more matches in USL action at this point. Chris Little had talked extensively about wanting the players to develop and learn their professionalism, and I think we're starting to see that, whether it's the draw streak or how they're playing this evening.
And then here, you want to look at key characteristics as well, and how you can get an advantage. So the goalkeeper's left foot is a little suspect. That could be a weak spot. So now anytime the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, the run to close it down should be pushing him to his left foot, and then everyone on behind you should be able to squeeze their line. So you're just looking for those little advantages that you can get, because this Locomotive team is very good. And there you go, guys hunting the ball together in packs. Double down.
Right strand with it there. Up as far as Gonzalez. Wide now for Daly. Rogers finds Hopiau. Short ahead for Dillon's brought him out wide.
Good play. Tacoma very good now. They're starting to, the young legs maybe starting to wear out Locomotive. Just knocking the ball around, having them chase.
Inventive back heel by
Hopiao
Robles
needs
for
to keep
Hopiao
going.
there.
Yeah, there you go. There he goes. That's what you need. Now you lock him in there. That's the message. That's the aggression that you need. Now you lock Locomotive in.
I just want to see that Robles play again, because that little back heel flick that he did.
Good spot. Yeah, Locomotives definitely doesn't have that bright start that they had in the first half. Could be tired legs, older legs. They did put a lot into that first half, the travel. And so you'll certainly see some changes here.
Well, we'll have our second sub of the match. First for El Paso, Chapa Herrera coming on for El Paso Locomotive. Sebastian Contreras' day is done.
Contreras was fantastic. His first half display is one of the best I've seen here at Cheney Stadium. Cultured left foot, fantastic in possession, able to spring balls, composure on the ball, rides off challenges. As a defender, you breathe a sigh of relief just to see a player like that get subbed off.
Chapa's an interesting story. He came out of Alianza de Football. I don't speak Spanish very well, but that's a nice Spanish youth organization trying to help U.S. soccer develop professionals out
Very
of the,
cool.
the Hispanic ranks in
Right.
North America.
Very cool.
Probably should have asked you guys to say the name.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Tacoma Defiance and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Tacoma Defiance's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. And oof, nasty high kick there. But Chapa Herrera hasn't even been on for 2 minutes. He's already going to go in the referee's book. Jesse Daly, meanwhile, down. And Daly upset that it's only yellow. We'll take another look here. James, what do you think?
No, definitely a yellow. I mean, Daily Brave puts his head down, gets a little clip. For me, another characteristic that you can add to a young team is that player should be surrounded by the Tacoma Defiance guys. Someone should be helping Daly up, and the player that kicked your player should be surrounded by guys, letting them know, hey, that's not accepted and tolerated here, and we're going to protect our players. But again, with a young team, may not have those type of characteristics, but that's something you want to see from a team, especially battling at home. Someone goes over, checks on Daly, help him up, and then you have other guys that are surrounding the guy that did it, and let him know that's not going to happen. And when he gets the ball, that he should expect guys to be around him.
Gonzalez jukes right, then left. Daly back to his feet. Ulysses making the run through. Cut out that time by Fox. Rogers, awkward poke there. Takes a kind deflection off of Kiesewetter. Pardon me, Kiesewetter. And bounces in for Brian Meredith.
Meredith is probably happy that got deflected.
Right. Rogers very, very lucky there with that type of display to bring that ball down. Usually you go safety versus risk. Don't take any risk in your defensive third. You want to be as safe as possible.
Well, a veteran move by the Belgian center back in Toko there to turn Dylan off his shoulder.
No, he's been very good. Very good, very composed center back. Organizes, reads the game well. His distribution is fantastic.
And Salvis down now to receive some treatment. Stretching out that left leg a little bit. And fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy.
Yep, looks like another substitution. So Locomotive here's 2 best players from the first half. Yuma and Contreras will be subbed out before the 65th minute. Now this is when a good team knows that they have an opportunity to really go in and get a result. So Tacoma Defiant should say, hey, their 2 best players have just been subbed out before the 65th minute. We're at home. We already have a bit of joy in this game. We have some bite. We have some momentum. We have to continue that now. When you have 2 guys that come on, it's very difficult to get up to the pace of a game, especially of a game this highly contested. So Tacoma Defiance, this is definitely an opportunity and a learning opportunity to really sense that and know that as a collective unit, that now is an opportunity to continue to go and push for the winner.
Well, here is Calvin Resende, pardon me, coming on now for Yuma Monsalves.
Yuma was good. He was very good in the first half. Composed, very bright, dictated the midfield rhythm, floated around, 1-2 touch, always played the right pass. He was very good as well in the first half.
Daly, some hard work for a couple of touches to recover that ball. He does it well. Nick Hines wins the throw-in. Another free kick, won by Tacoma. Nick Hines wanted to take it quickly. Moved it too far forward. This is Hines. Hines, the early cross. Got the header to Shannon Hopiau.
Yes.
Hopiau never had a chance to jump up to meet it.
It's very good, but that play started from the initial foul on Dillon. Hines sprints up to take the short free kick. The referee puts it back, but they still had the opportunity to do so. It's an opportunity to pick off. But the determination, you see Hopiau's run from about 25 yards out, already trying to get into the box, and Hines whips in a great ball. That's more of the urgency that they need. Wasn't off by much. Hopiau with a great effort there. Hines with a fantastic ball delivered in. And again, you saw Locomotive susceptible. This is where you have to push the goalkeeper to his left. It's those little things, but they still cause a turnover.
Dillon with the turnover. Dillon goes for goal, blocked right away by Richie Ryan.
And I think off the turnover, they could still be a bit more clever. Like I said, it doesn't have to go straight to goal right away. You know Locomotive is going to try to pounce, especially if they've just turned the ball over. Maybe a little 1-2, a little up, back, and through. Maybe you get the ball wide. Just a bit more clever when you do turn the ball over to set up maybe some combination play at the top of the box. But again, Tacoma Defiance can cause turnovers.
Oof. Salgado gets around Ulysses that time, has some room to work. He's going at Sam Rogers. Salgado goes himself, blocked by Rogers. To the far side, it's Rebellon. Pushed back in. Salgado, bouncing ball, turned in. 2-1 El Paso, and it's the recent sub, Calvin Resende, bagging his 2nd goal of the year. El Paso on top in the 68th.
And that's a tough goal to give up, especially when you've had a bit more run of the game, but it's that one play. Ulysses gets beat, the cover's not over there in time. They're able to sustain pressure, lose your markers. It's one of those things that happens for me 50 yards up the field. Although there was opportunities to combat that afterwards, when a team's pushing forward and you have guys committing to press the team, and you make a decision to go for the ball and you just miss it, that cover one has to be there, or you can't let the ball and the man get behind you. That's an opportunity to chop it down again, break up the play. Doesn't happen. It allows Locomotive to get on the board and push this game to 2-1.
Well, the break in play allows for the planned substitution by Tacoma manager Chris Little to take place. Daniel Leyva subbing on for Jesse Daly. And Daly for Leyva, both useful players in the midfield, James, but it's a little bit like trading a hammer for a scalpel.
It is. I thought Daly was good. Maybe worried about a bit of his yellow card, possibly getting a second, but I thought he was good. He added bite to the game. I thought he was committed. in his defensive role and tracking back and fighting for knockdowns and connecting play. And Leyva comes in. He's a deep playing playmaker and midfielder. And so we'll see if he can add that bite to the game. That's going to be his maturity as a player. Is can he do it on both sides?
And just speaking of maturity really quickly.
And that's the yellow that Ulysses needed to take here on Omar, right? Whether it's a handball, whether he chops him down, he doesn't let the ball and the man get by him. He commits, overcommits it, misjudges it, allows Omar to go Salgado on a run, but also his cover needs to be higher up the field. Sam Rogers doesn't need to retreat into his box. He needs to be a bit higher and initiate a line of confrontation higher up the field.
Joel Rydstrand cautioned here for a deliberate handball offense.
Rydstrand, not bad. We'll take the yellow because they'd be on the break again. And this
Another
is
dangerous
opportunity
back
to
pass.
keep
Justin
it on his
Dillon
left.
in on Ketterer, sliding in on Ketterer. Ketterer forced to jump over and gets the clearance away.
Great play by Dillon to push that. But again, on the back side of that, Tacoma Defiance needs to be able to win that ball in the air.
Dave, if you're El Paso head coach Mark Lowry, do you send a message to your team that you don't get to back pass Logan Ketterer for the rest of the match?
Well, they know that Justin Dillon's going to hunt it down, and I think at this point, Ketterer's might be a little bit shaken. He's been under pressure constantly throughout the night.
Ross to Rebillon on the near sideline. Poked away, Ross recovers and sends it downfield.
Again, safety versus risk, decisions. Safer decisions need to be made in the defensive third by Tacoma, especially when you get tired. Nick Hines there tried to be a little cheeky, just needs to be sure with the ball.
Salgado pokes that with the left. Headed up by Leyva. On the return now from Dillon. Dillon tied up at midfield. James, obviously the physical fatigue from trying to press in such a coordinated way for Tacoma is tremendous, but what about the mental fatigue, particularly when you're on the wrong side of a scoreline in the match? How do you try to push through for those last 20 minutes or so?
Without a doubt. Now's an opportunity just to put extra bodies forward. I mean, it's still plenty of time in the game, so you don't need to pull through the whole kitchen sink, but now you just need to start refining your opportunity to push forward, where it's sustaining pressure and you're attacking third, really battling for first and second balls, and then taking your set pieces opportunities very seriously, because it could be an opportunity to get them back in this game. And the substitutions are key. So now you have Leyva, a fresher, younger legs who needs to be kind of the catalyst and pushing guys and doing and showing the grit and determination to get on the ball, knock it around, set up your sequences.
Herrera comes near side for Rebillon. This is Salgado. Salgado, big move, an early cross. Knocked back toward goal and into the hands of Brian Meredith by his own defender. Quickly out for Hopiau.
It's a good decision by Hopiau. Looked forward, didn't see anything. Retained possession, knock it around.
Now it's with Ulysses on the far side. Leyva. Gonzalez. Hines on the overlap.
Good. Very good by Tacoma Defiance right now. 1-2 touch around the park. Shift to defense. Look for passing lanes, opportunities to penetrate.
Popiao gets that down for Robles. Robles moving in space, tripped up here, and draws the free kick. And it'll be a yellow card for Nick Ross, who's booked here in the 75th.
Ross bailed Robles out there. Robles did not have the numbers. You look at here, it just pulls him down from behind. And Danny really only had one passing option. That was not a smart professional foul.
Again, leads to the set piece opportunity I was speaking about. So now they need to be very clever and just ruthless. Deliver a good ball, let your big men attack it. But it's not only that first ball, it's that second ball, third ball, the knockdowns.
Swung in, looking for the head of Alex Berkholz. He gets to the second ball, but is cleared away by Resende. And Rebellon sends away. Here's Ulysses on the far side. Dillon calling for the ball in the middle. Instead, he leaves it short for Hopiau. And the long switch, hoping for Nick Hines. No good.
It's congested. They need to get the ball wide. They need to attack the flanks here. Use Ulysses and his ability to get up and down the flank. Hines. They're trying to go down the middle of the park where it's very congested, and El Paso doing a very good job of defending the ball inside to out. They have their line set up, trying to defend the 1-goal lead.
Trying for the incisive ball for Hopiau there. Nothing doing, and then Toko back toward midfield.
Great ball by Meredith. Great touch
Hopiau
by
ahead
Ulysses.
for Dillon. Dillon, a touch puts him toward the byline. Just too much on that first touch from Justin Dillon.
Unlucky. Great initial ball by Meredith. Great touch by Ulysses. Finds Hopiau in a good spot.
That'll be frustrating for Justin Dillon. That's his final touch of the match for Tacoma Defiance. He makes way for Alfonso Ocampo Chavez.
Dillon put in a great shift on both sides of the ball. His work rate is supreme. Battling up top against two center backs is not easy. But he was able to make the most of it, took his goal very, very well. Was havoc, drew some fouls, caused some fouls. He had a good night. It was a good shift he put in tonight.
Nick Hines restarts us with the backwards throw. Tune into ESPN News on Wednesday, June 5th at 6 p.m. local time for Wednesday Night Soccer, when OKC Energy FC travels to Albuquerque to face current Western Conference leaders New Mexico United It's the week's best match on Wednesday Night Soccer, June 5th at 6 p.m. on ESPN News. Here's Nick Hines pushing up the near side. Sliding challenge there, gets the ball off of him. Rebellon pulled down by Gonzalez.
I think Hines was looking for Ezreal Gonzalez there, and Gonzalez was just in an offside position, so he lost the passing lane he wanted.
Still, the reaction needs to be better. And for a player of his quality, trying to continue his upward progress in player development, lose the ball as an outside back, first reaction should to get back right away.
Ulysses doing anything he can to try to keep hold of Omar Salgado. Literally, in that case, it's another free kick. Uh, 81st minute now. Dave, last time Defiance were trailing at home by 1 goal in the final 10 minutes. They found their equalizer. They waited till the last second to do so. Do you think there's another in it for them in this match?
I think what they need to look for, and maybe it's a little boring, but Danny Leyva and Fonz have been working together with the GA Cup U17 national team as well. Those two have a little bit of a vibe. They work together with first team practices. For them, their opportunity in a set piece situation should be strong.
Hines upended there. Adds a little combat roll to it and draws the free kick off of Rebellon.
Quick free kick is on. Quick free kick is on. So here again, set piece opportunities. Last time it's a floated ball. The difference between Locomotive's delivery and Tacoma Defiance is it was more of a curled, cultured ball. This one's a bit more of a floated for Tacoma Defiance, more of a floated ball. So you're trying to get the second option. You want the ball to be headed back across.
Daly.
That's a better delivery.
Looking for Rogers that time. Ocampo Chavez looking to settle this ball. Ulysses. Leyva. Far side to Ridestrand. Still looking for that incisive ball. They wanted Robles that time. Nick Ross gets it off of him. And Ridestrand has it back. Gonzalez here. Ridestrand tries to go on his first touch and turns it over.
Space is going to be wide here for Tacoma Defiant. Down the flanks is going to be their best opportunity. Locomotive setting up shop, defending it very well inside to out.
Campo Chavez trying to provide the pressure, does so on Fox that time. Throw-in quickly comes his way. Hopiao gone for goal, and he won't put that on frame.
Ulysses running off that easily could have been slipped through. Maybe Hopiao kind of fakes the shot and looks for a slip, but we've seen him hit fantastic shots from there, especially on his right foot, so don't mind that at all. Finds a little bit of space. Great bout of possession there by Tacoma Defiance.
Derek Gebhard will be the final introduction by Mark Lowry. He's coming on for the man who bagged the opening goal for the visitors, Jerome Kaisevetter. So both sides have used up all their available subs with 6 minutes to go. Salgado spins out of a challenge there.
Too easy, too easy.
Gabbard, his pass coming inside, gets the return. Sliding challenge from Ulysses. Gabbard's gone down. The referee didn't see a foul in it. A quick switch the other way. Ocampo Chavez running in the open field. Ketterer lets it roll in and scoops it up.
Ketterer reads it well. Not a bad opportunity there. Not a bad idea. This year opportunity to press, but it needs to be more than 1 or 2 people. There again, it's late. The passing channels need to be clogged. It's too easy.
Salgado pushed through here for Gabbard. The flag stays down. Meredith off his line. Gabbard is through. Gabbard tripped up. He goes down, and it's cleared away.
Hines had an opportunity just to retain possession, dribble. That's the chance for him to just retain possession. Late in the game, you see it. Meredith commit. It's a great tackle here. Hines coming over. Just needs to retain possession. Dribble the ball. Instead, gives up the corner kick.
Gabbard just tripped up on his own feet there. And now we'll see Chapa Herrera over to take the corner. Omar Salgado available as the near option.
And it looks like El Paso Locomotive is trying to make that train run late at this point.
Salgado, chip back to Herrera. He gets a touch. He's brought down on the edge of the area. And another free kick given just outside.
Very close to a penalty.
Nick Ross wants to take this free kick. 2 in the wall for Defiance. Ross goes for goal that time, doesn't put it on frame. It's out for a goal kick.
Plenty of time here. I would say about 4 minutes or so of injury with all the subs.
Here's Alex Burkholz past midfield.
So it should be four minutes or so of added time, but we'll see what the referee decides to put up.
Free kick given back near the midway line for Tacoma.
Direct route. This is where he battled, challenge for the first one, looked to win knockdowns, whip the ball back into the box. The main thing you do is don't want to be offside. Give your team a chance to actually attack it without being offsides.
Long ball, Ketterer able to grab it straight out of the air. Herrera with a deft first touch. This is Salgado.
Salgado's galloping through.
He's around Hines. He's into the area. He's down on the pitch. And he's back to his feet and down again.
Well done by Hines. Very good tracking. But that's what Salgado did in the first half. Just powerful, powerful stride. Gallops through. There's come a defense.
Well, Herrera and Salgado will team up on the near sideline this time. Delgado drops us back to Rebillon. And all the way back to Ketterer. Well, the chase is on for Tacoma Defiance. 90th minute, they trail 2-1 here at Cheney Stadium.
3 minutes.
Receiving word now in our headsets that we can expect 3 minutes of stoppage time. And El Paso, who've been in full control of possession for so long throughout this match, don't have it right now. Hopiau up the far side, tries to cut in on Intoko. His cross is cut out by Ross. Held in by Resende. Herrera. An El Paso player down along the far side. And it's Richie Ryan who appears to be cramping. As we tick into the first seconds of stoppage time.
Interesting cramp, both legs at the same time.
Tied up. Initially was down holding his head. Certainly glad to see that player back on his feet. Long physical game through the middle of the park for both teams.
It was. Both teams put in a fantastic shift. I mean, both teams battled. The game definitely picked up. There was some chippiness. Some competitive desire here. It was an excellent bout this evening, an excellent match to watch. Some very good play by Locomotive early. Thought Tacoma Defiance had a bit more run and a bit more joy of the play in the second half, although they gave up that second goal, which ultimately is what stands at this moment.
You saw just now the fourth official. We'd announced 3 minutes, and after Richie Ryan spent 45 seconds on the ground, Joseph Salinas, the referee, decided to add 1 more minute of stoppage time.
So I was right.
You
4
were.
minutes.
Did you send a quick text down to the sideline?
Salgado's been good this game as well. Big frame, uses body well, great hold-up play, left foot. Very good left foot, but his stride is fantastic. Just a powerful stride. It's like a 200-meter sprinter. 400, even at the 400. Just a powerful stride, but he's able to do so with the ball at his feet, which is even more impressive.
Still fast feet for Ocampo. Chavez Gonzalez, an early ball in. And Ketterer had to take a couple of steps to track that. As Gonzalez sliced in a cross that just kept curling.
Did he slice it or did he mean to do that? If he meant to do that, that was impressive. That was cheeky. We'll see from this replay. It seemed
deliberate to me.
He looks up.
Yeah, I think he picked his spot there and almost found it too.
Decent.
Now Defiance still active here in stoppage time. Trying to see if they can bully their way to another late goal. That's simple dump and chase stuff for El Paso now. Here's Herrera. He's only got eyes for the corner flag. He'll body up against Leyva. And can't win it off of Gonzalez. There's a free kick given for handball. Ulysses with it here. Right strand trying over the top. Leyva going over the top. That one cleared away by Andrew Fox and out for a corner.
Set piece opportunities. Tacoma Defiance have had a few set pieces, a few free kicks, and then this opportunity now for a corner kick, in swinger, bring the goalkeeper up.
I have this as Tacoma's first corner of the match.
This is your opportunity to get the equalizer here.
In from Leyva. Meredith giving chase. Headed out the far side. It's bound for the touchline. And it won't even reach it. Whistle goes for full time. El Paso Locomotive remain perfect. Well, I should say unbeaten on the road with a 2-1 win here over Tacoma Defiance, who are now winless in their last 10 matches. And James just, right, the hope of the goal from Justin Dillon just before the half, and it really just gets dragged away by that awkward goal that goes the way of Calvin Resende.
Yeah, a couple awkward goals, honestly. The first goal that Locomotive scored where we thought it was offside, still want to get confirmation on that. And then the second goal against the run of play, again, Tacoma Defiance did a great job of coming out in the second half and really pressing the game, created enough chances. You know, they were first probably fouled, committed the first 5 fouls of the second half. And then you had a veteran-savvy team that waited for that one break, and they were able to capitalize on it. So very unfortunate result. But again, credit to Locomotive. I thought they were very good throughout the game and deserved a result tonight. And, you know, both teams should help hold themselves up high. I thought there were some good shifts, some good play around, and you see the hands being shaken now, mutual respect by both teams.
Dave Clark, this Tacoma team goes on the road next weekend to play at Colorado Springs Switchbacks. The team that they're kind of jockeying with at the bottom of the Western Conference standings, particularly again that this is going to be the first of 4 matches away from Cheney Stadium for them. How important does that fixture now become?
I think you'll see some players that are eager too, because they want to earn that opportunity with the Open Cup match coming to Cheney. So they're going to want to prove themselves. They know that Colorado Springs is a team that they should be able to challenge and threaten with a win. And they've still got the scoring streak going. It's the defense that needs to step up and lock things down.
Tacoma players coming over to thank the supporters now. And they certainly did what they could to get behind this team tonight. But Justin Dillon's 5th goal in as many matches, not enough. Tacoma Defiance taken down at home by El Paso Locomotive FC, 2-1. That is going to do it for us here from Cheney Stadium. For all of us here on ESPN Plus, including Dave Clark and James Rowley and the rest of our crew here from Tacoma, I'm Andrew Harvey saying so long, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.